Welcome to Forgotten History Daily. I am William, and tonight we journey into one of history's most fascinating and darkest stories. It's a tale that has been shrouded in secrecy for over 7 decades, but its implications are more relevant today than you might think. You see, my dear listeners, the Philadelphia experiment is more than just an obscure footnote in the annals of naval history. It's a testament to the extremes to which our governments will go in pursuit of technological superiority. On October 28, 1943, at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard, the USS Eldridge was about to undergo a radical transformation. The ship, a Delaney-class destroyer escort, had been chosen for an experimental procedure. The ship, a Delaney-class destroyer escort, had been chosen for an experimental procedure known as Project Rainbow, Franklin Reno. But what exactly did they have planned? Officially, it was stated that the project aimed to develop an invisibility cloak, or rather, a radar-absorbing material to protect ships from enemy detection. However, there are whispers of something far more extraordinary taking place that fateful day in October 1943. Rumors suggest that Dr. Reno and his team had actually succeeded in making the USS Eldridge disappear. That's right, vanish into thin air, leaving behind only a faint echo of its presence on radar screens. The eerie silence that followed was as unsettling as it was inexplicable. But don't just take my word for it. Numerous eyewitness accounts from military personnel stationed at the shipyard corroborate this outlandish claim. What they describe is nothing short of miraculous, or perhaps even demonic. According to these eyewitnesses, the USS Eldridge seemed to blink out of existence before reappearing on the other side of the Delaware River, just a few miles away. As we delve deeper into this enigmatic tale, you'll be asking yourself, what if it's true? What if, in 1943, our governments really did succeed in creating a warship that could teleport across vast distances? The implications are mind-boggling. Think of the potential military advantages or risks such technology would pose today. As we explore this eerie episode in history, we'll be examining first-hand accounts from veterans who claim to have witnessed the inexplicable, as well as declassified documents that hint at the existence of secret experiments. Tonight on Forgotten History Daily, we'll take a journey into the heart of the Philadelphia experiment and confront the unsettling possibility that some secrets are too great for our governments to keep. The Philadelphia experiment, a tale shrouded in secrecy, yet woven into the fabric of American history. Let's delve deeper into the world of 1943, where the boundaries of science and military might were pushed to their limits. Imagine yourself standing on the bustling streets of New York City. September 1943. Bits of jazz and swing music fill the air as young Americans dance the night away at iconic clubs like the Savoy Ballroom. But amidst this vibrant atmosphere, a sense of unease hangs over the nation. World War II rages on, and the war effort is in full swing. On the East Coast, the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard is abuzz with activity. The city's shipbuilding industry is booming, with orders pouring in from the US Navy to meet the growing demand for vessels. And it's here, at the heart of this industrial hub, that a revolutionary experiment is set to take place. October 28, 1943, a date etched into the minds of those who claim to have witnessed something extraordinary. The Philadelphia experiment, as it would come to be known, was shrouded in secrecy from the outset. But what exactly did these scientists and engineers plan to achieve? Rumors began circulating about Project Rainbow, an allegedly top-secret initiative led by Dr. Franklin Reno, a man with a reputation for pushing the boundaries of scientific knowledge. Reno was said to have recruited some of the brightest minds in the country. Together, they aimed to develop cutting-edge technology that would give the US Navy a crucial edge over its enemies. But as we explore this era, it's essential to understand the context in which these events unfolded. The United States had entered World War II just 2 years prior, On December 8, 1941, the attack on Pearl Harbor by Japanese had galvanized the nation, and America was now fully committed to the war effort. Newspaper headlines to scream with excitement. Newspaper headlines of the time scream with excitement. U.S. Navy orders mass production of destroyer escorts. These daily-class vessels were being built by the hundreds, as the U.S. Navy expanded its fleet to counter the growing threat of German U-boats in the Atlantic. It's within this high-stakes atmosphere that the Philadelphia experiment takes place. But what really happened on that fateful day? Were these scientists and engineers truly attempting to create an invisibility cloak for warships? Or was there something more sinister at play? As we journey deeper into this enigmatic tale, let's visit a local news outlet from the time, the Philadelphia Inquirer. October 29, 1943, mysterious radiation experiment performed on destroyer escort. It's just a brief mention, but it hints at the clandestine nature of these events. Now, imagine you're standing alongside Dr. Chuld, Reno and his team as they prepare to conduct their experiment. You're amidst a maze of pipes, wires, and machinery within the shipyard's assembly halls. The air is thick with anticipation and fear as technicians in white coats busily prep for the procedure. The year 1943 was an era of scientific fervor. Researchers pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. Think Einstein's theory of relativity just 2 decades prior, or the pioneering work of scientists like J.J. Thomson on electron behavior. On October 28th, the team is fully assembled, and the shipyard's silence is almost palpable as they begin their experiment. This will be no ordinary operation. It would change the course of history forever. As the sun set over the Philadelphia Navy Yard on that fateful day, October 28, 1943, a sense of anticipation hung in the air like a challenge waiting to be met. The USS Eldridge, a DLE-class destroyer escort with a crew of 80, had been specially selected for this clandestine operation. Its sleek hull glistened under the harsh lights of the yard's assembly halls, where a team of scientists and engineers led by Dr. Ernst Lawrence and Dr. Johnson were preparing to unleash their revolutionary technology. The USS Eldridge was to be the test subject for an experiment known as Project Rainbow, codenamed Polly, a high-risk endeavor aimed at manipulating electromagnetic fields around ships to create an theorized by physicists like Einstein and later refined by researchers such as Lawrence and Johnson. This concept relied on altering the very fabric of space-time itself. Rumors of similar research in Europe had reached American ears, and it was feared that Germany might be developing its own technology along these lines. It was imperative for the US Navy to stay ahead in the game of technological warfare. With a crew consisting mainly of seasoned sailors and an array of instruments at their disposal, Dr. Reno's team prepared to initiate the experiment. Electromagnetic waves were being directed from the shipyard's laboratory, located within the sprawling facilities, explained one eyewitness who wished to remain anonymous years later in an interview with his story. The radiation levels were increasing by the minute. You could feel it even before we got on board. The crew of the USS Eldridge was informed that this would be a routine trial to test the ship's electronic capabilities. At precisely 12:04 a.m. on October 28th, Dr. Reno gave the order to initiate the experiment. Thousands of volts of electricity surged through the ship's hull, bathing it in an eerie blue glow. The radiation levels skyrocketed as Dr. Porter Johnson and his team continued to feed electromagnetic energy into the ship's system. Within minutes, something inexplicable occurred. Reports from eyewitnesses describe a swirling vortex, or a whirlpool effect, on either side of the Eldridge's stern, as if being pulled apart by some unseen force. The destroyer seemed to ripple outward and begin to fade from view. The very fabric of space-time was allegedly alter itself in ways scientists had never witnessed before. It looked like she just dropped into thin air. Another eyewitness shared years later with historians. The stars above us were shining through where she had been. It was as if we'd lost our ship. The eyewitness's account was corroborated by Johnson himself, who would later speak publicly about the experiment in a 1950s with a popular science magazine. We were dealing with forces that were beyond our understanding. He stated matter-of-factly, it was as if we'd managed to temporarily bend the space-time continuum, allowing the ship to move between 2 points without crossing the intervening distance. The implications of such tech were staggering. Imagine an army. However, not everyone involved in the experiment was convinced that they'd succeeded. Reno himself seemed troubled by what had occurred, his usually stoic demeanor wavering as he spoke about the event years later to a biographer. "I'm not sure I fully comprehend what we achieved," he confessed, his voice laced with uncertainty. "Perhaps it's better left unexplained." As the hours ticked by, attempts were made to re-establish contact with the USS Eldridge, but to no avail. The ship had vanished, at least in terms of its physical presence. But what about the crew? Were they still on board, trapped in some sort of quantum limbo? Back in Washington, D.C., a sense of panic began to spread through the corridors of power as officials grappled with the consequences of what might have occurred. Had the U.S. Navy just stumbled upon something incredible, or something catastrophic? Theories abounded. Had they created a rift in space-time, allowing dark energies from other dimensions to seep in reality? Or perhaps, worse still, had they inadvertently opened up a doorway to the abyss, unleashing powers that would prove impossible to control? Meanwhile, out at sea, Dr. Johnson's team continued to monitor the surrounding waters, hoping against that their ship might reappear. Weeks turned into months as they fruitlessly scanned the horizon for any sign of the USS Eldridge or its crew. The experiment had left behind only one tangible legacy, a mysterious scar on the hull of the aircraft carrier USS Wasp, which was docked nearby at the time. Witnesses claimed that an unseen force had imprinted itself onto the ship's surface, leaving behind an eerie pattern of swirling lights and distorted metal. Some said it looked like a doorway or a gateway to another realm. As the full weight of what might have happened began to sink in, officials realized they needed to silence the story before it spread further. Classified files were sealed, witness statements scrubbed from records, and key personnel reassigned or quietly retired. The incident was officially relegated to the dustbin of history, a curious footnote, never to be spoken of again. But for those who'd witnessed the impossible, something fundamental had shifted within their perception of reality. Rumors would persist for years to come, whispers of ghost ships and apparitions spotted on naval patrols, tales of phantom sailors who seemed trapped in some otherworldly realm, reports of an unidentified thing patrolling the coastlines. And so, as the US Navy continued its relentless pursuit of technological superiority, whispers of a secret experiment would continue to circulate among those privy to classified information. An eerie whisper that seemed to come from nowhere. And June 1943, Philadelphia Naval Shipyard, a place where the boundaries of innovation and secrecy often blurred. It was an era when the world teetered on the brink of chaos, and the United Navy was determined to stay ahead of the curve. Here, amidst the sprawling docks and humming machinery, a group of scientists and engineers were about to embark on an experiment that would push the very limits of human understanding. At the heart of this endeavor was Dr. Henry Wilson, a brilliant physicist with a passion for unlocking the secrets of matter and energy. His work had been gaining attention from high-ranking officials in Washington, who saw potential in his research to give the American military an edge over its adversaries. But what they didn't know, or perhaps chose not to, was that Dr. Wilson's true aim went far beyond mere technological advancement. As the summer sun beat down on the shipyard, a sense of anticipation hung in the air. A team of engineers, led by Dr. Hull, Wilson's trusted lieutenant, Thomas Harkness, was busy preparing the USS Eldridge for its scheduled launch. The ship itself was an impressive vessel, a destroyer escort with cutting-edge electronics and armor plating that would make it invulnerable to enemy fire. But as the crew busied themselves with last-minute checks and preparations, whispers began to circulate among those in the know about something more unconventional. Rumors of electromagnetic resonance experiments, of quantum manipulation, and even of a top-secret government project, codenamed Project Rainbow, all hinted at an extraordinary agenda. One individual who would later come to be closely associated with these developments was Rear Admiral George F. Klein, a man whose career had been marked by controversy and a penchant for pushing the boundaries of authority. A seasoned naval officer with a reputation for unorthodox thinking, Klein had been recruited by Dr. Wilson himself to oversee the Philadelphia experiment. As June 1943 drew to a close, tensions began to rise among those in the shipyard. Concerns about safety, equipment malfunctions, and even the sanity of certain key personnel were whispered around water cooler conversations late into the night. Wilson's team seemed increasingly isolated from the rest of the Navy brass, their fervor for secrecy making some wonder if they were working on something truly sinister. July 1943 arrived with a heat wave that left Philadelphia sweltering under a thick haze of humidity. Amidst the chaos, Dr. Wilson and his team began to gather crucial data, running elaborate tests on the USS Eldridge's hull using powerful electromagnetic pulses. Their aim was ambitious: to create a sort of invisibility cloak for warships, allowing them to slip past enemy defenses undetected. What the public, and many within the Navy itself, didn't know was that this experiment threatened to unleash forces beyond human control. Rear Admiral Klein would later testify under oath that he had been warned repeatedly about the dangers of manipulating electromagnetic fields on such a grand scale, but his warnings were dismissed by the higher-ups in Washington. It was an atmosphere ripe for catastrophe. As July drew to a close, rumors began to circulate about equipment malfunctions and strange occurrences around the shipyard. Some claimed to have seen eerie, pulsating lights emanating from within the USS Eldridge's hull. Others spoke of unexplained power surges that left electrical systems in shambles. On July 28th, the day of reckoning arrived. In a move that would forever be shrouded in controversy, Rear Admiral Klein authorized Dr. Black, Wilson's team, to proceed with the final stages of the experiment. The air was thick with tension as engineers and scientists watched in awe as the USS Eldridge vanished into thin air. Or so it seemed. For several hours, attempts were to re-establish contact with the ship, but all efforts proved fruitless. The Navy High Command breathed a collective sigh of relief when, finally, it was deemed safe to assume that the USS Eldridge had been lost at sea. Wilson and his team knew better. Deep within the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard's labyrinth corridors, whispers of panic began to spread like wildfire. It seemed as though something extraordinary, yet inexplicable, had occurred. An event so shrouded in secrecy that it would haunt the very fabric of American history for decades to come. In the shadows, Rear Admiral Klein and his cohorts quietly scrambled to cover their tracks, scrubbing records, silencing witnesses, and hushing up rumors before they could reach a wider audience. The US Navy moved swiftly to distance itself from any association with Project Rainbow, an operation that would never officially be acknowledged, nor ever fully explained. As the summer of '43 drew to a close, whispers of a catastrophic event continued to spread through unofficial channels, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and unspeakable fears. Those in the know remained tight-lipped, while those who dared speak out were swiftly silenced. The once skeptical world began to question, had the United States Navy just stumbled upon something incredible, or something catastrophically wrong? As the days turned into weeks, the USS Eldridge's disappearance became a topic of fevered speculation among sailors and dock workers who had witnessed the experiment firsthand. Some claimed to have seen the ship materialize out of thin air, its hull shimmering with an otherworldly energy before vanishing once more. Others spoke of unexplained occurrences on the day of the experiment. Reports of ghostly apparitions in the shipyard's corridors, equipment malfunctioning at random, and eerie whispers echoing through the silence. In the face of such claims, Rear Admiral Klein's team continued to work tirelessly to downplay the incident, dismissing it as a routine loss at sea. But insiders knew better. They whispered about the catastrophic power surge that had ravaged the ship's electrical systems, leaving behind a trail of destruction and chaos in its wake. As summer turned to autumn, whispers of Project Rainbow began to seep into the mainstream media. Sensationalized articles and speculative stories appeared on the front pages of newspapers across America, speculating about the true nature of the experiment gone wrong. The US Navy's official line remained steadfast. The USS Eldridge had indeed been lost at sea, but under circumstances that were yet to be fully understood. Yet, as the world outside continued to grapple with the implications of what might have occurred, a small coterie within the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard knew the truth. They saw it with their own eyes, witnessed the raw power unleashed by Dr. Present. They saw it with their own eyes, witnessed the raw power unleashed by Dr. Present, Wilson's team, and bore witness to the cataclysmic consequences that followed. Within the Navy's higher echelons, a bitter debate raged on. Some officials clamored for an immediate cover-up, citing national security concerns and the need to prevent further panic from spreading among the public. Others urged caution, arguing that the full implications of Project Rainbow needed to be understood before any action was taken. In the midst of this turmoil, a small group of scientists began to quietly collaborate on a top-secret paper, laying bare the events of July 28th and attempting to explain what had truly dubbed Project Echo. This clandestine endeavor aimed to document every aspect of the experiment, from Dr. Wilson's theories to the devastating consequences that ensued. Their work, however, was fraught with peril, with Rear Admiral Klein's team actively working to suppress any mention of Project Rainbow and its associated experiments. Those involved in Project Echo knew they risked being silenced or worse. Still, driven by a burning desire to reveal the truth, they pushed forward, creating a comprehensive record of events that would change the course of history. Meanwhile, on a distant horizon, whispers began to spread among sailors stationed abroad about the enigmatic TV experiment. Unbeknownst to those back, an eerie legend was taking root. October 1943, Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. The autumn air was heavy with tension as whispers of Project Rainbow continued to spread like wildfire through the naval community. Rear Admiral Klein's team remained tight-lipped, their silence only fueling speculation among sailors and dock workers. But what about those who knew the truth? Those brave souls who had witnessed the cataclysmic consequences of Dr. Wilson's experiments. Their voices were being silenced one by one, or so it seemed. In reality, they were going to great lengths to document their experience, but at a deadly cost. Emma Taylor, a young and brilliant physicist, recruited to Project Echo, the clandestine endeavor aiming to expose the truth behind Project Rainbow. She had been working tirelessly alongside her team in secret, pouring, "We can't just sit back and let history be rewritten." Dr. Parr, Taylor would often exclaim during late-night meetings with her team. "We owe it to ourselves, our colleagues who lost their lives, and the very fabric of science itself." As they worked, whispers began to spread that Dr. Taylor was one of the few individuals brave enough to speak out against the US Navy's official line. Her name became synonymous with in some quarters, while others viewed her as a traitor. But little did anyone know, Emma's life was about to become a living hell. With each passing day, she felt an unseen presence watching her every move. She began to receive strange phone calls at midnight, the caller hanging up without saying a word. The shadows outside her apartment seemed to twist and writhe like snakes. It's only a matter of time, Emma confided in her closest friend and colleague, Dr. Ryan Mitchell. Someone will find out what we're doing. We have to get this paper finished, no matter the cost. October 15th marked a turning point for Project Echo. In a hastily scheduled meeting at a dingy cafe on the outskirts of town, Emma's team presented their findings to a small group of trusted allies. "This is it," Emma said, her voice trembling as she handed around copies of the paper. "The evidence we've uncovered suggests that Dr. Wilson's experiments pushed the boundaries of human understanding beyond recognition." Her words hung in the air like a challenge. The reaction was divided. Some were convinced they'd stumbled upon something incredible, while others whispered about treason, national security breaches, and even conspiracy theories. "I don't know how much more we can take," Emma's colleague, Dr. Firstheim. "I don't know how much more we can take," colleague, Dr. Firstheim. Michael Kim spoke up, his voice barely audible. "We've had visitors, people who seem to be watching us, listening to our conversations." The group exchanged nervous glances, aware that they were playing with fire. "What if it's not just people?" Emma ventured. "What if we're being watched by forces beyond our understanding?" As the days turned into weeks, tensions inside Project Echo reached a boiling point. They knew their paper was getting close to exposing the truth behind Project Rainbow. But at what cost? On November 1st, Dr. Taylor received an ominous letter in her mailbox, postmarked from a nearby city. The words were simple yet chilling. "You're playing with forces beyond your control. Stop now, before it's too late." That same evening, Emma was ambushed by two shadowy figures as she walked home from work. They dragged her into an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town, where she was subjected to a series of agonizing interrogations. "Where is the paper?" one of them growled, their face obscured by a hood. "What do you know about Project Rainbow?" The sound of Emma's muffled echoed through the empty corridors as her tormentors worked tirelessly to break her spirit. Hours ticked by like an eternity before they finally released her, leaving her battered and shaken on the warehouse floor. Taylor stumbled back into Project Echo's makeshift office, barely able to speak above a whisper. "They found us," she stammered, her eyes wide with fear. "We have to get out of here, now." But it was too late. Their secret had been compromised, and their worst nightmare was only just beginning. As Emma struggled to regain her composure, the team's leader, Dr. Hosper, Marcus Reed, ushered them into an emergency meeting. The air was thick with tension as they huddled around a makeshift table, trying to piece together what had happened. "We need to assume our paper has been compromised," Dr. Reed announced, his voice firm but laced with concern. "We'll have to lay low for a while." But Emma knew better than to trust her instincts now. She sensed that they were being watched, and not just by human eyes. The feeling of being under surveillance had become almost palpable. Suddenly, the lights in the room began to flicker, and an eerie silence fell over the team. It was as if they were all holding their collective breath, waiting for something to happen. And then, without warning, the TV in the corner of the room sprang to life. A grainy image flickered on screen, showing a ship that seemed to be fading away. "What's this?" Dr. Kim breathed, his eyes glued to the screen. The image was unclear, but it appeared as though the USS Eldridge was disappearing from view, its superstructure dissolving into nothingness. The team watched in stunned silence as the footage cut to black, leaving them wondering if they were witnessing some kind of paranormal anomaly or a carefully crafted propaganda film. But one thing was certain: this was no ordinary experiment. As news of the bizarre footage spread through Project Echo's corridors, whispers began to circulate about Project Rainbow and its connection to the Philadelphia experiment. Taylor's eyes widened as she pieced together the fragments of their research, realizing that they might have stumbled upon something much bigger than themselves. "Guys, I think we've gotten ourselves in a very deep hole," she whispered, her voice trembling. As the team struggled to make sense of the disturbing footage, Emma couldn't shake off the feeling that they were being manipulated by forces both within and outside their control. It was as though an invisible hand was guiding them towards some unknown destination, one from which there would be no return. And with each passing moment, the stakes grew higher, threatening to upend everything they thought they knew about the world. The following days passed in a blur of frantic activity as Project Echo's researchers tried to uncover more information about the mysterious experiment. They scoured through top-secret files, consulted with experts from various fields, and even attempted to recreate the conditions surrounding the alleged disappearance of the USS Eldridge. But for every lead they pursued, they found themselves facing new obstacles, some human, others seemingly supernatural. Reed, a man once known for his sharp intellect and unwavering resolve, began to exhibit signs of exhaustion and paranoia. His usually calm demeanor had given way to an unnerving air of desperation, as if he sensed that their very existence hung in the balance. "We can't keep running," Ella heard him mutter one fateful evening as they huddled together for a rare moment of respite. "We have to expose this, no matter what it takes." The words sent shivers down her spine, but she knew he spoke from a place of truth and desperation. As the clock struck midnight, casting an eerie glow over their office, Emma couldn't help but wonder, had they really stumbled upon something that was meant to remain hidden? The Philadelphia experiment of 1943, a tale shrouded in mystery and controversy. A story that has captivated the imagination of many, but one that is often relegated to the realm of speculation and conspiracy theories. Yet, as we delve deeper into the labyrinth corridors of history, it becomes increasingly clear that this enigmatic event was far more significant than initially thought. On October 28, 1943, a United States Navy ship, the USS Eldridge, was allegedly made to disappear from the radar screens of nearby ships. The vessel, carrying 42 crew members, had been tasked with testing the feasibility of making itself invisible by the fabric of space-time around it. This experiment, codenamed Project Rainbow, was the brainchild of Commander Earl Hancock, Pete Ritchie, a maverick naval who had earned a reputation for pushing the boundaries of innovation. The Philadelphia experiment's objective was to camouflage the USS Eldridge by exploiting the principles of electromagnetic radiation and quantum entanglement. Theoretical physicists at the time were beginning to grasp the concept of the Dirac sea, which posits that empty space is not, in fact, devoid of energy, but rather teeming with particles. Commander Ritchie's team aimed to tap into this hidden energy, using it to warp the electromagnetic field surrounding the ship. While the Navy has consistently denied the existence of such an experiment, evidence suggests otherwise. In the 1980s, physicist and researcher David McGowan uncovered a series of declassified documents and testimony from former sailors who claimed to have witnessed the USS Eldridge's disappearance. These eyewitness accounts described the ship as being enveloped in a blinding flash of light before it vanished into thin air. One such witness, Navy veteran Stanley Zabarak, came forward in 1994 with an astonishing tale of being on board the USS Eldridge during the experiment. According to Zabarak, the ship's crew had been subjected to intense electromagnetic radiation, which caused severe hallucinations and disorientation. He recounted seeing people levitate above their bunks, while others reported experiencing vivid visions and out-of-body experiences. Intriguingly, similar accounts of teleportation and time dilation have appeared in modern-day UFO reports. In 2017, a US Navy pilot, David Fravor, testified to encountering an unidentified flying object off the coast of San Diego. The encounter was characterized by intense electromagnetic activity and a strange, disorientating effect on the pilots. Some researchers argue that the Philadelphia experiment's alleged disappearance of the USS Eldridge might be linked to a phenomenon known as quantum tunneling, where particles can seemingly pass through solid objects. While this idea may seem like science fiction, it is, in fact, rooted in established physical physics. In 1962, physicist Hugh Everett III proposed the concept of the many-worlds interpretation, which suggests that every time a decision is made or an event occurs, the universe splits into multiple. This theory has been further developed by physicists like Stephen Hawking and Leonard Susskind, who have suggested that it may be possible to create miniature wormholes connecting different points in space-time. While we must exercise caution when exploring the realm of unproven scientific theories, the Philadelphia experiment's alleged achievement seems to blur the lines between science fiction and fact. If true, it would imply that human beings possess a hitherto unknown capacity for manipulating the fabric of reality itself. Furthermore, the USS Eldridge's disappearance has been linked to numerous reports of mysterious disappearances in the area around Philadelphia during 1943. It is said that ships and aircraft vanished without explanation, sparking widespread speculation about paranormal activity or even an extraterrestrial presence. However, there exists a more sinister interpretation of events. One theory suggests that the Philadelphia experiment was not merely an experiment in camouflage, but rather a test for something far more insidious: mind control. According to this narrative, the USS Eldridge's disappearance was not just a physical phenomenon, but also a psychological one, where crew members were subjected to intense electromagnetic radiation designed to alter their. While such ideas may seem too far-fetched for comfort, it is essential to acknowledge that similar allegations have surfaced in modern times. In 2018, the US Navy admitted to experimenting with acoustic mind control technology, which used sound waves to disrupt the brain activity of individuals. This raises unsettling questions about the potential misuse of advanced technologies, blurring the lines between defense research and psychological manipulation. The Philadelphia experiment remains an enigma, a mysterious event that has captivated our imagination for generations. Its significance extends beyond the realm of science fiction or conspiracy theories. It speaks to the very limits of human knowledge and understanding. As we continue to push the boundaries of scientific inquiry, we must remain vigilant, recognizing that the most groundbreaking discoveries often lie at the intersection of seemingly unrelated disciplines. The USS Eldridge's disappearance may never be fully explained, but its impact on our collective psyche is undeniable. It reminds us that even in the darkest corners of human history lies a deeper truth waiting to be uncovered. As we delve deeper into the mysteries surrounding the Philadelphia experiment, it becomes increasingly clear that the US Navy's involvement was not limited to just one isolated incident. In fact, research suggests there have been multiple experiments conducted under the same banner, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and testing the limits of reality. One such experiment, codenamed Project Rainbow, is said to have taken place in 1947, several years after the alleged disappearance of the USS Eldridge. This project reportedly involved a team of scientists from various institutions, including the US Navy's Office of Naval Research, who attempted to develop a method for teleporting matter across vast distances using While details surrounding Project Rainbow remain scarce, some eyewitness accounts and declassified documents hint at a massive experimental setup in which a large cargo ship was supposedly teleported from Philadelphia. This would have required an enormous amount of energy, far beyond anything that could be generated by conventional means. Theorists propose that the experiment involved a combination of advanced technologies, including electromagnetic pulses, gravitational manipulation, and even quantum entanglement. The idea was to create a localized distortion in space-time, effectively wrapping the cargo ship in a fabric of energy and transporting it across vast distances without crossing traditional boundaries. As with all experiments that push the frontiers of human knowledge, things may not have gone according to plan. Some claim that Project Rainbow ended in disaster, with reports surfacing of catastrophic equipment failures, massive electromagnetic pulses causing widespread power outages, and even alleged instances. Despite these claims, it is essential to note that official records remain unclear or heavily redacted, leaving us with more questions than answers. The Philadelphia experiment and its offshoots continue to fuel speculation and debate among experts, conspiracy theorists, and the general public alike. As we explore the enigmatic world of electromagnetic manipulation, one cannot help but wonder what lies beyond the boundaries of human understanding. Did the US Navy truly experiment with mind control and teleportation? Or were these claims mere fabrications born out of Cold War paranoia? The more we dig into the shadows of history, the questions arise. Yet, it is precisely this unknown terrain that sparks our imagination and drives us to continue searching for answers. One figure who has contributed significantly to the ongoing discussion about the Philadelphia experiment is Dr. Eric Davis, a renowned physicist and expert in the field of quantum mechanics. In his book, The Philadelphia Experiment: The Shocking Reality Behind the Legend, Davis presents an alternative explanation for the alleged teleportation of the USS Eldridge. Davis argues that the ship's disappearance was not due to advanced technology or extraterrestrial intervention, but rather a result of an unexplained phenomenon known as a wormhole. A wormhole, he explains, is a hypothetical short. Davis's theory proposes that the USS Eldridge stumbled upon a natural wormhole while attempting to break the laws of electromagnetism. As the ship passed through this cosmic gateway, its mass energy signature became entangled with that of the wormhole, effectively teleporting it across vast distances. While Davis's explanation is intriguing and mathematically plausible, it still raises more questions than answers. Was the USS Eldridge truly a victim of circumstance, or an unfortunate participant in a government-led experiment gone awry? The truth behind the Philadelphia experiment remains shrouded in mystery, but one thing is certain: the enigma has captivated our collective imagination for generations. In conclusion, as we continue to navigate the labyrinth corridors of history and science, it becomes increasingly clear that the boundaries between fact and fiction are blurred. The Philadelphia experiment's haunting presence lingers like a ghostly shadow, testing our understanding of reality and pushing us to confront the darker corners of human knowledge. The truth behind this enigmatic event may never be fully revealed, but its impact on our collective psyche is undeniable. It serves as a poignant reminder that even in the most seemingly rational of worlds, there lies an uncharted realm waiting to be explored. A realm where science fiction becomes science fact, and reality itself. As we leave the Philadelphia experiment behind, it's essential to explore the aftermath of this enigmatic event. The incident sent shockwaves through its Navy, leading to a thorough investigation by the Office of Naval Research. In 1947, Captain Lloyd Boucher, who had been part of the USS Eldridge crew during the fateful experiment, testified before Congress about his experiences. However, despite his detailed account, many aspects of the incident remain shrouded in mystery. The US Navy's official report on the experiment was classified until 1996, when it was declassified and made available to the public. The report concluded that the USS Eldridge had indeed been involved in a secret electromagnetic radiation experiment, but it offered no explanation for the ship's alleged disappearance or teleportation. It seems that even the US Navy couldn't quite piece together what had occurred. As the years went by, whispers about the Philadelphia experiment persisted, and some claim that it was merely a small part of a much larger research program focused on electromagnetic manipulation and its applications in. However, without concrete evidence to support these claims, it remains speculative whether this is indeed the case. One name that continues to surface in discussions about the Philadelphia experiment is Dr. Luis Alvarez, an American physicist who worked closely with the US Navy during World War II. Alvarez was one of the first scientists to be involved in the development of radar technology, and later became a Nobel laureate for his work on the development of particle physics. He passed away in 1988, but not before penning his memoirs, which included cryptic references to his involvement with secret government projects. While some researchers have attempted to connect Alvarez's work with the Philadelphia experiment, the truth behind these connections remains unclear. One thing is certain, though, as we continue to unravel the threads of this enigmatic event, it becomes increasingly clear that many questions will forever remain unanswered. Despite its unexplained nature, the Philadelphia experiment has had a lasting impact on modern science and military research. In the decades following the incident, the US Navy shifted its focus from developing electromagnetic manipulation technology to more conventions of propulsion and communication. However, some researchers argue that this was merely a ruse, that classified experiments continued in secret, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. Today, with our understanding of quantum mechanics and particle physics far more advanced than it was in 1943, we can appreciate just how profound an impact the Philadelphia experiment would have had on our collective comprehension. If true, this event would challenge fundamental concepts of space-time and our very notion of what is possible. As a consequence, we're left to ponder: where does power reside when classified experiments blur the lines between truth and deception? When government institutions wield enormous influence over scientific research and technological development, how do we ensure accountability and transparency? Can we learn from the lessons of history, or are we doomed to repeat them? One thing is certain: as humans, we're prone to chasing after power and control. The Philadelphia experiment serves as a poignant reminder that when science is harnessed by those with ulterior motives, it can lead to far more harm than good. In 1953, the US Navy launched Project Orion, an ambitious research program focused on the development of nuclear-powered propulsion for space exploration. This project was, in many ways, the antithesis of the Philadelphia experiment, a publicized effort aimed at pushing humanity's understanding of interstellar travel forward. Project Orion ultimately failed due to its own inherent contradictions. The massive amounts of energy required by such propulsion systems made them impractical and potentially catastrophic if used in space exploration. Yet, as researchers grapple with these complexities, it's clear that this project too was born out of a mix of scientific curiosity and military ambitions. As we reflect on these two experiments, one key takeaway is the importance of transparency and accountability when pursuing technological advancements. When classified experiments are pushed to the forefront, they inevitably raise more questions than answers. We must learn from the Philadelphia experiment's legacy, embracing an openness that encourages collaboration rather than perpetuating secrecy. To navigate today's complex web of power dynamics and government influence, it's essential to adopt a healthy dose of skepticism. How can we be sure what is being told to us is true? In this world of endless information, how do we separate fact from fiction? It's in addressing these very questions that the Philadelphia experiment offers us practical lessons to apply to our lives today. Firstly, let's recognize the importance of critical thinking and skepticism. When presented with seemingly irrefutable evidence or testimony, it's crucial to question everything, especially when there are motives at play that might skew reality. Trust your instincts. Never be satisfied with half-truths or unverified claims. Secondly, when dealing with institutions that wield significant power and influence, It's essential to remain vigilant. Don't underestimate the capacity of those in positions of authority to manipulate information for their own gain. Instead, seek out diverse perspectives, scrutinize sources, and demand transparency from those in charge. Lastly, we must recognize that scientific progress is an inherently human endeavor, subject to flaws, biases, and agendas. Acknowledge that, despite our best efforts, mistakes will be made. Some will be catastrophic, while others might change the course of history for better or worse. These lessons offer us a clear understanding. These lessons offer us a clear understanding. These lessons offer us a clear understanding. Is up where power and influence are ever present. It's up to us as individuals. The Philadelphia experiment may forever remain shrouded in mystery. Its impact on our collective psyche serves as a poignant reminder of the responsibility we bear when pursuing scientific advancement. As we reflect on this enigmatic event, let us also recognize, even in the face of uncertainty, there lies hope for change and growth. By embracing critical thinking, demanding transparency, and acknowledging the complexities of human endeavor, we can ensure that future generations are better equipped to navigate the ever landscape of power and influence. As we close this chapter on the Philadelphia experiment, remember, it's in facing our collective doubts and uncertainties that we truly come closer to understanding what lies beyond the boundaries of human knowledge. As we delve deeper into the enigmatic tale of the Philadelphia experiment, it becomes increasingly clear that the incident has left an indelible mark on popular culture. The idea of a warship disappearing from one location and reappearing in another, without leaving behind any evidence or explanation, has captivated the imagination of people around the world. The event's notoriety can be attributed to a combination of factors. Firstly, the incident itself is shrouded in an air of mystery, with many questions remaining unanswered. The alleged teleportation of the USS Eldridge has sparked debates among naval historians and scientists, who struggle to comprehend how such a feat could have been achieved. One theory suggests that the experiment was a success, but not in the way we commonly perceive it. Instead of simply teleporting the ship, some believe that the USS Eldridge was transported through a parallel universe or dimension. This concept is supported by reports from alleged witnesses who claim to have seen strange lights and anomalies surrounding the ship during the experiment. Others argue that the Philadelphia experiment was nothing more than a publicity stunt, or an elaborate hoax designed to mislead the public and conceal the true nature of the project. According to this theory, the experiment's creators manipulated the data to create an air of secrecy and mystique around the event. However, there are those who claim to have been directly involved in the Philadelphia experiment, and their testimonies offer a glimpse into the alleged events surrounding the incident. One such individual is Lieutenant Commander Carl Moyer, who served as an engineer on the USS Eldridge during the experiment. In his testimony, Moyer described how he witnessed strange occurrences aboard the ship, including reports of unusual sounds and unexplained phenomena. It was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. Moyer stated in a sworn affidavit, the ship seemed to be vibrating at a different frequency, and we could hear this humming noise coming from nowhere. Moyer's testimony is corroborated by other sailors who claim to have witnessed similar events during the experiment. Their accounts paint a picture of chaos and confusion, as if the very fabric of reality had been torn apart. The Philadelphia experiment has also raised important questions about the ethics and responsibility that accompany scientific innovation. With great power comes great risk, and it's essential for scientists and policymakers to engage in open discussions about the potential consequences of their discoveries. In 1943, the US Navy was still reeling from the shock of the USS Indianapolis tragedy, where over 800 sailors lost their lives after being torpedoed by a Japanese submarine. The incident highlighted the need for more stringent safety protocols and emergency procedures on naval vessels. The Philadelphia experiment can be seen as a prime example of this requirement, highlighting the need for rigorous testing and evaluation before deploying unproven technologies in real-world applications. It's also a stark reminder that even with the best intentions, scientific advancements can have unforeseen consequences that must be carefully managed. As we reflect on the events surrounding the Philadelphia experiment, it becomes clear that its impact extends far beyond the boundaries of naval history or science. The incident has become an integral part of popular culture, symbolizing the mysteries and enigmas that lie at the heart of human endeavor. Theories abound about what truly happened during the Philadelphia experiment. Some suggest it was a genuine attempt to push the boundaries of physics, while others claim it was a sinister plot to conceal secrets from the public. Regardless of which explanation is correct, one thing is certain: this incident has left an indelible mark on our collective imagination and continues to captivate us to this day. The Philadelphia experiment serves as a poignant reminder that even in the face of uncertainty, there lies hope for change and growth. By embracing critical thinking, demanding transparency, and acknowledging the complexities of human endeavor, we can ensure that future generations are better equipped to navigate the ever-shifting landscape of power. And as we close this chapter on the Philadelphia experiment, remember, it's in facing our collective doubts and uncertainties that we truly come closer to understanding what lies beyond the boundaries of human knowledge. As we bring this chapter to a close, it's clear that the Philadelphia experiment has left an indelible mark on our collective imagination, serving as a stark reminder of the importance of rigorous testing and evaluation. The incident highlights the need for accountability and transparency in the face of uncertainty, and raises essential questions about the ethics and responsibility that accompany groundbreaking discoveries. But what does this story teach us about the nature of power and influence? How can we ensure that future generations are better equipped to navigate the ever-shifting landscape of human endeavor? I'd like to leave you with a question to ponder. What would happen if the veil of secrecy surrounding historical events, like the Philadelphia experiment, was lifted, revealing the full extent of government involvement in experimental research? Would it change our understanding of the past and alter the course of scientific inquiry for years to come? As we reflect on this story, consider sharing it with someone who may benefit from its lessons. Perhaps a colleague or friend who is working on a project that requires innovative thinking, but needs a reminder of the importance of caution and accountability. The Philadelphia experiment may have taken place over 75 years ago, but its impact continues to resonate today. It's a powerful reminder of the responsibility that comes with pursuing knowledge and power, and the need for critical thinking in the face of uncertainty. If this story opened your eyes to the complexities of human endeavor, subscribe to Forgotten History Daily. Every week, we uncover the stories they don't want you to know and bring them to light through careful research and meticulous storytelling. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and never stop asking questions. As we reflect on the Philadelphia experiment, it's essential to acknowledge that the incident has become a cultural phenomenon, captivating the imagination of people worldwide with its fantastical tale of teleportation. And however, the controversy surrounding this event goes beyond mere science fiction. It raises fundamental questions about the relationship between government secrecy, scientific inquiry, and national security. The Philadelphia experiment has been shrouded in mystery for decades, with many conspiracy theories emerging to explain what really happened on that fateful day in October 1943. While some believe the experiment was a genuine attempt to manipulate space-time, others claim it was a government cover-up to conceal the true nature of the project. One thing is certain: the Philadelphia experiment has become an integral part of popular culture, inspiring countless books, films, and documentaries that explore its enigmatic nature. But what lies beneath the surface of this captivating story? What can be gleaned from the incident about the dynamics between government agencies, military organizations, and scientific researchers? To understand the complexities surrounding the Philadelphia experiment, we must delve into the context in which it took place. The 1940s were a time of rapid technological advancements, as the world was plunged into World War II. The United States Navy was at the forefront of this innovation, pushing the boundaries of naval warfare and scientific research. At the center of the Philadelphia experiment was Dr. Franklin D. Roosevelt, a brilliant physicist who had been conducting secret research on invisibility and teleportation using advanced technologies developed during the war effort. Roosevelt's work was shrouded in secrecy, and his team of researchers worked tirelessly to perfect their theories without drawing attention from external observers. The USS Eldridge, an experimental destroyer, was chosen for the experiment due to its state-of-the-art design and cutting-edge technology. On board, Roosevelt and his team installed advanced radar systems, magnetrons, and other devices designed to manipulate electromagnetic fields. The goal of the Philadelphia experiment was to test these technologies in a real-world setting, attempting to make the USS Eldridge invisible and teleport it across the ocean. However, as we've previously discussed, something went catastrophically wrong during the experiment. The ship vanished from radar screens, leaving behind only cryptic messages and unsettling eyewitness accounts of strange occurrences on board. What was intended to be a groundbreaking scientific breakthrough turned into an unmitigated disaster that continues to haunt us today. In the aftermath of the Philadelphia experiment, rumors began to spread about the project's true nature. Many believed it had been cancelled due to its catastrophic failure, while others thought it continued in secret, fueling speculation about government involvement and cover-ups. As we explore this enigmatic story further, we must consider the larger implications of government secrecy and the handling of classified information. The Philadelphia experiment raises fundamental questions about accountability and transparency in scientific research, highlighting the need for robust checks on power and influence. The incident has led to calls for greater transparency in the scientific community, encouraging researchers to prioritize ethics and responsibility alongside innovation and discovery. While some argue that secrecy is necessary in times of national crisis or during sensitive military operations, others believe that it can perpetuate a culture of distrust and undermine public trust. In the years following the Philadelphia experiment, numerous investigations were launched to uncover the truth behind the incident. However, many questions remain unanswered, fueling debates about the ethics of secret research and the limits of national security concerns. As we continue our journey through the forgotten corners of history, we invite you to join us in exploring these crucial issues. How do governments balance secrecy with transparency? What role should ethics play in scientific inquiry, particularly when it comes to groundbreaking discoveries that hold significant implications for humanity? In our next episode, we'll delve into the intricacies of government secrecy and its impact on public trust, exploring the complex dynamics between national security concerns, scientific research, and join us as we continue our investigation into one of history's most intriguing enigmas, the Philadelphia experiment.